Okay, everybody. So we are living in a time which is data drives everything is king. You need to know what is going on in your industry, in your market. And today we are diving in with a special guest who's going to show us how we can get the very best out of the data that's available to us and where you can go and look for this data. So if this is your first time here, you're listening to the Boostly podcast. This is a podcast that gives hosts the tools, the tactics, the trainings, and the confidence to go out there and get more direct bookings. My name is Liam Carolan, and my special guest today, we've got Fausto. He's the head of strategic partnerships at Pricelabs. Now, some of you will be listening to this going, yeah, I've heard of Pricelabs. Yeah, I know what it does. Well, even if you've heard of Pricelabs, they're constantly looking at new features and data all the time. It's worth just going back, looking at your settings, listening to the experts, listening to people who are from Pricelabs, and how you can really perfect your comps and your data sets. And that's what we're going to be doing today. If you've not heard of Pricelabs, please do type Pricelabs into a Google search. They're an amazing company and they help you with dynamic pricing. So before I cover too much of that, let's dive in. Let's say hi to Fausto and welcome him along. So welcome along.
Hi, Liam. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I was introduced already, but we'll introduce a little bit more. So my name is Fausto. I'm with Pricelabs for 3.5 years now. So I started, we were a small team. Now we are a very big team. At the moment, I've done some other things in Pricelabs, but at the moment I'm working with the strategic partnerships, mainly focused on Europe and Latin. I was a Pricelabs user before, so I was a revenue manager before joining Pricelabs, and I was a Pricelabs user for 2 or 3 years before joining the team. So for whoever doesn't, for people who don't know what Pricelabs does, we are a revenue management system. Basically split it in 3 different main tools or features. There is dynamic pricing, market data, and reports. The idea is for people to be able to apply, like see their strategy, look at metrics, look at their KPI, see how the market is doing, and apply those tactics and strategies inside Pricelabs, and don't need to be jumping between systems, etc., and have all in one. In terms of a revenue management system, nothing else. Okay. So basically, and just to explain why it's important to be always updated, even if you're using a tool for years, it's always, when you're using at least a revenue management system, you should be able to keep updated, look at your revenue management system. It doesn't matter which one you use, you should look at the updates, because it's really, like, revenue management is a complex topic, and the biggest difficulty that we have is trying to make the product as easy to use as possible, in spite it has to solve a complex topic, right? So there's always a lot of updates, a lot of new features, a lot of features that are, it's the same feature, but the way it works changes. So if you are not keeping updated with your revenue management system, and if it's a good revenue management system, probably you are only getting like 30, 40, 50, 60% of it. I've seen some clients that really don't get everything that they can do of the tool that they are using. And about this market report, like custom data report, we noticed that one of the biggest, we created our market dashboards. That basically it's a market data tool, so you can use it even if you don't have properties and you are not using dynamic pricing. Just if you want to get some market data, you can use it. So it's an independent tool of the dynamic pricing tool. But we noticed that a lot of our users told us, like, it is awesome, we can get data, we can look at market data, we can see how the market is going, but we always struggle to be able to define what market is for us. So because it depends, right? You have to be able to do a right segmentation to get the best out of it. So this is in terms of revenue management, like traditionally what we call a comp set. So we have to define our own comp set, and it's our competitors that we want to track, right? Or even if you are investing in a market and you just want to look at market data, you have to be able to select what is a market for you, what do you want to track it. So this is one of the main updates that we had in the market dashboards, that you can create your custom data report. So you can create even one by one, go listing by listing in a certain region, in a certain area. And the market dashboards can have different sizes. So you can get a market dashboard with 1,000 listings, 5,000 or 10,000. And 10,000, it's a very wide area. In some countries, depending on the city, it might be more than one city, 10,000 listings.
What sort of data will hosts and people like myself be able to get access to? Just give us an overview of what we can see and why that's going to be important.
Yeah, so you have access to the main KPIs like ADR, occupancy, like average daily rate, occupancy, length of stay, the booking window, when are people booking in your market. You can see this by periods, for example, in the last year, in the last 30 days, in the last 7 days, but you can also see the average per month. You can look at occupancy as well. One that I really like is length of stay, obviously. So you can see the occupancy and the length of stay, what is the weight of each length of stay in those occupancies. So for example, is my market very strong in bookings of more than 30 days? Or is my market strong in bookings of 2 days or 1 day? To understand if that total occupancy, what is the percentage of nights that come from bookings of 2 nights or 7 nights, etc. So usually these main KPIs, you can also compare your prices. You can even see like the most common amenities, the cancellation policy that your competitors are using, the value of extra guests that your competitors are charging, the amount of people doing weekly discounts, monthly discounts. So there's a huge amount of information. And why is this custom comp sets very useful? Because you will be able to see at the listing level, and you can open the link and see it. In this case, our market dashboards for the moment have Airbnb and Verbal. We will add Booking.com at some point. I don't want to tell which date because I don't want to overpromise. But we are using Booking.com data in our dynamic pricing tool. We are planning on adding it to the market dashboard.
I know there's a lot of people who will listen to this and go, do you know what? I'm just not very techy. I don't understand the figures and the numbers. What would you say to those people? How does Pricelab help to sort that out? You know, like for the people who just don't know what to do, what kind of features and tools and what would you say to them?
So we have several ways of helping. Like we have daily webinars, for example, in English. We have webinars in 5 languages, but daily it's in English. Then we have weekly in Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese as well. We have our support team that speaks all these languages. I think a couple more, but at least these 5 are covered officially. Okay, so you can, and they work 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you can contact our support team. But of course, if you need a call, and depending on the complexity of your account, you might be able to do it with the help of our support team, or you might be assigned an account manager that will help you to set everything, and that will help you like with bi-weekly calls, for example, at the beginning, or a weekly call at the beginning, then monthly calls, quarterly calls, whatever you might need. For example, in my case, in spite I'm with in charge of partnerships, I still do some account management with old clients because before I was doing account management and business development. So I still have like monthly calls, or with some clients every quarter because they just want it every quarter. So we have the account managers as well assigned to the clients. But it depends a little bit on the complexity of the account, the size of the account, etc., how it is split. If you have one property, probably our support team will help you to set up and do your onboarding. But if you have like 100, you probably will need certain specific settings that you will do it with onboarding calls with us. But for everyone, our support team is really great. I think it's probably one of the strengths of Pricelabs, and they are very fast and friendly, and they can help you to set up everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much for today. So as a host, go and check out Pricelabs. If you've listened to this and you're inspired to go and check them out, please do so, but also share this with somebody else who may be able to get some value out of it that might not know about Pricelabs or some of the awesome new reports, custom data reports and things like that, which are coming out. Thank you for listening to Boostly. We know there's a lot of places you can put your attention, and really thank you for putting it with us. That's it for now, and we'll see you on the next one. Hurrah for now.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Bruce Lee podcast. Bruce Lee like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.